to climax without your hands or without even moving. I mean, that's superpowers. And trust me when I say that I have got some ideas for giving yourself a great thigh job. You can actually call it's a thigh job actually, because it's your thighs that is stimulating your genitals and causing you to hit that orgasmic bliss. Do you understand what I'm saying? Spread them legs and then use your fingers to spread your labia majora apart. Just spread them apart and then hold the lips down so that you can cross your legs over. You can just put, your joystick in between your thighs and cross your legs and maybe in a sitting position and add that pressure that your joystick can allow for. You can be rubbing, the head of your snake that is obviously protruding from in between your thighs and just enjoy the stimulation. Before you know it, you'll be making milk for anything to soak on, maybe your bed to soak on, or maybe the floor to soak on, whatever. So this is how to syntribate alone. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jane Lawrence and I come with a lot of juicy content. I am so happy to be back. I'm sorry that I took a long break. I had a new business that I started this year and I just wanted to concentrate and just build it to a level. And so far so good. We're trying, we're struggling with it, but we're trying. And I decided to come on here to do something because it's been 2 months since I left this channel and it's not cool at all. Anyways, without waste of time, guys, ladies, we're going to talk about something that some of us might have mistakenly gotten into without realizing that this is what it is called, and it is called syntribation. Syntribation. I am sure not a lot of people have heard of that word. Now, without waste of time, let's get right into it. What is syntribation? This is a type of self-pleasuring where you rub your thighs together. Thus, you're putting pressure on your clit, and it's mostly practiced exclusively by women. So in this video, I'm going to teach you the origin of syntribation and how to syntribate by yourself or with your spouse. Are you ready? So, what is syntribation? Maybe you've never heard of that word syntribation before, or maybe you've tried this type of self-pleasuring without even realizing it has a name. Like, have you ever found yourself squeezing your core and your thighs and having that sweet sensation in between your legs? I mean, your coochie. I know I experienced this one time when I was a teenager, and since that time, it's been like crazy. Some of us have been able to find out that squeezing our legs together feels so good in a sensual way. Usually it is done while lying or sitting down with your legs crossed or closed. And this is how you can do it. You can just lay in bed and use your index finger and your middle finger and just spread your juicy lips, below in order to expose your powerhouse. By now, you know what the powerhouse is. It's the clit. And then you cross your legs together like so. And after squeezing your legs together, you can clench the muscles of your core and your thigh. And then think about who and what gets you hot with your eyes closed, hopefully leading you to orgasm. It's something that you might not necessarily get it at first, but when you keep doing it time and time again, you realize that you tend to orgasm and orgasm real good. Now listen, to make this a success, especially if this is new for you, you need to understand that pressure plus movement equals pleasure. So engaging your core and your thighs, crossing your legs like this. How do I do it? Crossing your legs like this and just grinding on your coochie can just give you that immense pleasure. And hopefully it leads you to orgasm. It's something that you would have to practice over and over again. This is especially for women who have not experienced orgasm ever, even with their men. Okay. So like I said earlier, you're engaging your core and your thighs. And this can indirectly stimulate your vulva and your clitoris through muscle movement and pressure. And also you're drawing blood to your juicy part. And you would realize that, your juicy part might just become engorged and sensitive, making it even easier to enjoy syntribation. Now, let me give you a backstory as to the origin of syntribation. Syntribation most likely comes from the word that means rubbing, trib, together, sin, and self-pleasuring, even though most people don't literally rub their thighs together. However, the act itself was also mentioned nearly 30 years earlier by Sheer Height in her 1976 publication about women's sexuality. She found that 3% of women, self-pleasure themselves this way. And I think I'm part of that 3%. Plus many of us women talk about syntribation a lot without using the word, probably because we haven't heard of it or it's not frequently used. And this is why some of us women like syntribation. It's totally hands-free. That's the fun part about syntribation. The fact that it is a hands-free way to self-pleasure. And you can do it even in public without anyone noticing it. That's if you're a freak. You can do it in the presence of someone or in public without anyone noticing that you're doing something. So if you're into taboo or public sex, which is weird, syntribation might just scratch that itch for you. And the funny thing is, most ladies mistakenly got into this unique way of self-pleasuring without knowing what this is all about or if it was ever a thing. I know for me, I didn't even know it was. It was just by mistake. And since then, now this method of self-pleasuring is also, a good option if you're too sensitive to enjoy direct clitoris stimulation from touching or using a toy and, even the mouth. There's some women who are very, very sensitive down there. And alternatively, if you're not that sensitive, syntribation can provide a lot of pressure for you too. And then again, I need you to realize that this method can come in handy when you're on your period and you don't want to get your fingers dirty with, blood or something like that. This will help, honestly. So in that case, you might just stick to squeezing your thighs together for cleaner, hands-free pleasure when you have your period on. And trust me when I say that guys like it too. Even though I know that syntribation is more commonly discussed or experienced or practiced by us women with vulvas, believe me when I say that it can still feel good if you as a man, you have a joystick. You can just put, your joystick in between your thighs and cross your legs and maybe in a sitting position and add that pressure that your joystick can allow for. If you know that your joystick can allow for much pressure, then you can just determine the kind of pressure that your thighs can exert on your joystick and just close your eyes and imagine, your woman out of her clothes or doing the most nasty thing to you. And if you're nude, that's even better. You can be rubbing, the head of your snake that is obviously protruding from in between your thighs and just enjoy the stimulation. Before you know it, you'll be making milk for anything to soak on, maybe your bed to soak on, or maybe the floor to soak on, whatever. So this is how to syntribate alone. Syntribation is more often done solo than other types of self-pleasuring. And trust me when I say that I have got some ideas for giving yourself a great thigh job. You can actually call it's a thigh job actually, because it's your thighs that is stimulating your genitals and causing you to hit that orgasmic bliss. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, listen, this is a note of warning. This is very addictive, and trust me, it will be hard to break away from for years. And I would advise you to even never do it, because when you know how to do it, when you know how to do this, you will find yourself doing it everywhere or even doing it multiple times in a day. So me, I would say just only do it with your husband around. Let it just be a complementary part of pleasure to the whole sexy time that you both are about to have. Okay, so let's begin. If you really want to learn how to do it, how do you do it? Now you could decide to remove your clothes, and stay under the duvet. Spread them legs and then use your fingers to spread your labia majora apart. Just spread them apart and then hold the lips down so that you can cross your legs over your cleat, aka powerhouse. Do you know why? Because squeezing your legs together to orgasm is the easiest way to syntribate. I mean, crossing your legs just to provide more stimulation, because crossing your leg condenses the muscles in your genital area together. Plus the pressure of one leg over the other can feel good in different ways than keeping your legs straight and parallel. All right, so you could try this in your bed. You could try it while you're watching TV or you're working at your desk, or you're just try it and close your eyes in bed and have an image of a raunchy scene. You could try different position. You don't usually need to do anything special when you're syntribating, but I prefer to lie down, in bed to syntribate. But you can do it while sitting down, just like I am sitting down like this. Let me show you how it is done. Like I told you, you spread them legs. You spread the labia majora, press it down, like you just press down the spread labia majora, and then cross your legs, right? And when you cross your legs, like honestly, see how I cross my leg? Let me bring this thing down. Oh my God. Yeah. To cross your leg like so. Can you see how I'm crossing the leg? And what you just do is just feel the pressure. You can even move. However, you can move upward like that. Move upward like that and just press. You will feel the pressure. Wahala, wahala. All right, so that you can do while you're sitting down too. But if you're especially skilled, you can give it a try while standing. But now that doesn't really work for me. So lying down wins it for me, because I feel like it's hard to get it right while standing. How can you stand and cross your legs? So sitting is cool, or laying down is cool. And trust me, you may not even climax at the first try because you're not used to it. And your thighs at some point in time might start cramping up, or your powerhouse might just start hurting because of too much pressure you're exerting on it. So don't force it, but go gentle on yourself till you get it right. All right, till you get it right one day. Now take it from an expert in syntribation. Honestly, like I said earlier, I stumbled into it by mistake in my teenage days, and now I am asking God to break it, cause it is addictive. To climax without your hands or without even moving, I mean, that's superpowers. Like you and I could literally be sitting down and talking like this, and my legs are just crossed. But you don't know that I am syntribating. You don't even know, because I might even cloak the fact that I am reaching my orgasm. I literally could be talking like this to you, but I'm syntribating. Now let me tell you how to clench in different variation. Now, one of the easiest way to switch things up when syntribating is by changing how you flex your muscles. All right, you can experiment with short or slow squeezes, like short squeeze or slow squeeze and you release, or it could be a combination of both of them. So try tensing your muscles and holding that position for as long as possible. Now, when it comes to squeezing, you can press one thigh over the other thighs, just like this. Or you can press both thighs up towards your powerhouse or your vulva, like I showed you earlier on. Or you can just cross your legs to your ankle, like I did, and just press your thighs upwards towards your powerhouse. You would definitely feel a sensation on that powerhouse. Just continue time and time again until you can't take that sweetness or maybe pain from doing it for the first time. Now, toys can add to Syntribation in several ways. All you need to do, if you're the type that uses, toys, you could place a toy such as the vibrator between your legs or against your powerhouse while you're doing it, or maybe inside your juicy pot, however you want it. Or you can even use the strength of your Kegel muscles to hold the toy like a dildo inside yourself while Syntribating. You can also lie down on the vibrator in between your thighs while you're doing it. And what even gets you faster there is when you close your eyes to imagine bad things that gets you really hot and turned on. And also using pillow or blankets, or even teddy bear between your thighs works too. Sometimes you just simply hold something in between your legs while squeezing your muscles. It can also involve more active thigh grinding or dry humping of the object between your legs. And this brings us to the type of clothing that you put on. It doesn't necessarily matter, but your clothing also can play a significant part in the success of your Syntribation, because it can feel different with different clothing. For example, tight panties or, the seam of your jean might feel pretty much enjoyable when you grind against it with your thighs. Or you might like to do it in an A-line skirt or a loose dress like the one that I'm wearing. Or better still, just do it without anything on. All right? What you wear might not make a huge difference when you Syntribate, but it doesn't hurt to experiment. Now, other techniques that can make it easier for you while you do this is stimulating your powerhouse by using your fingers while clenching your thighs. Just put your fingers in between if you want to, to give further pressure. And this might not work if you have bigger thighs, but just be aware that grinding your thighs against an object for more direct stimulation or direct powerhouse stimulation can go a long way to making you orgasm faster. Syntribation with a partner is also very cool. Now, you can actually Syntribate with your partner, and that's if you're very creative. Now, ladies, please, you need to understand that if you've trained yourself to only orgasm by squeezing your thighs together, then penetration and those typical partnered activities may not feel as satisfying. That's why I said don't get used to it. Instead, you can engage in mutual self-pleasuring where you touch yourself, both of you touch yourselves. Because I mean mutually touching yourselves and looking at each other and absorbing each other's reaction can be a tone of fun. Now, the question some people might ask is it possible to Syntribate during sex? Well, I don't think it's always easy to Syntribate during sex, because you need a position where you can keep your legs close together, like spooning position, prone bone position, or the jockey position. These are 3 options that can let you squeeze your thighs while your husband is penetrating you, however, from whatever position. You can also try something like backseat driver or side saddle sex position. Just look up those positions on the internet, because I can't show you this position because it goes against the YouTube guidelines. But it will still feel a little different from solo Syntribation, because your partner is working his thing up and you're also trying to Syntribate. The distraction, I don't know, it might work, it might give you something really explosive, especially when he's thrusting you and you're Syntribating. It will be mad explosive if you can do it. And if your man also understands that what you're doing is Syntribation and you get off faster through that means. I mean, it's a win-win situation. Do you get what I mean? And also, if your partner is performing oral activities down there, and he's comfortable with it, then what he needs to do is you can actually squeeze your thighs in between his head if he can handle the pressure, or you can squeeze your thighs and just lay down. You can squeeze your thighs and just lay down, and he can give you whatever whatever activities from behind. Like lay down in a screen position while you squeeze. Then he can give you from behind. Do you get what I mean? Or you could just syntribate around his head. In other words, you as a receiving partner can squeeze your legs together around your partner's head, but just be careful not to hurt your partner. All right. Now, like I said earlier, this is very addictive, and there is a potential danger in it, in the sense that you can only orgasm in a very specific way. And one of the biggest potential problems of syntribation is that you might become so used to experiencing pleasure this way that it becomes difficult to enjoy pleasure from other types of stimulation. And I tell you, this can be a huge problem when playing with your partner, especially during intercourse, because it's so different from what you know and what you like, what your body is used to. And because you've become so addicted to it, you tend to orgasm faster through that means than any other means. So when you know that you've gotten so addicted to it that you can't orgasm any other way, you just know it is time for you to restrain your body in order to appreciate other types of stimulation, including penetration, rubbing, or vibrations. And to do this, you should just stop syntribating while using other forms of stimulation to get aroused, and hopefully, you orgasm at the end of the day. It can take weeks for this part to play off, because you have to reteach your body to orgasm in different ways. And some people say that they can never have an orgasm any other way because they've practiced syntribation so much. But you won't know until you try. All right? And I hope that you have learned one or two things today. And this is especially dedicated to women who say they have never experienced orgasm in their whole life, not even with their men. So you can try this out, and just maybe you would have yourself jerking into oblivion, Anyways, this is where we call it a shot or call it a day, and hope to see you soon. Happy new month to you guys. Mwah.